I mean, we're talking about Valve. I think Valve as a company is really interesting, and I'm very excited about Steam machines. I'm probably going to buy a Steam Link. I'm probably going to buy a Steam controller. Have you guys seen this Steamboy thing, the Smach Zero?
I don't like its name.
The Smach.
The Smach Zero? Smosh?
I think it's Smach.
Smach.
The Smach Zero.
Smach Zero. It's a terrible name.
Mm-hmm.
I did see it.
Marty, have you seen this thing?
Yeah.
Miranda?
Yep.
Okay, so we all did our research. First impressions, like when you see this thing, do you want it? What's up?
All I want to know is, can it run Dota well from anywhere? I'm not gonna lie. That's all I want to think about.
That'd be a weird. I don't see that working, but
Me either, but it'd be really exciting, right?
Yeah, I mean, it'd be kind of fun
So
to try.
let's talk about it. It's $300.
Yes, it's sort of modeled after the Steam controller. Looks like it has touchpad
Kind of, yeah.
thingies. It's got
720p, 5-inch screen. I think that's about the Vita size. Is that right?
maybe a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
The Surface 2 Pro has a 10-inch screen, so it's like half that. So I think that's decently
Ish,
sizable for a
yeah.
handheld machine.
And it has HDMI output and 4G connectivity, but only on the Pro
The Pro
model.
model, which I think that's probably a separate, like not $300 model.
So that's weird because I would never play this if I was at home.
No, and I'm also not going to download Civilization 5 on my 4G connection.
Right.
Yeah.
But I would maybe play Steam games on 4G if I'm out somewhere.
So-
But
Sure.
that's the hook. Like I'm not even considering the regular model at that point.
Okay, I didn't think about that. That's really interesting.
Yeah.
So the
You
only
had a
reason
thought.
I would consider the lower price model is because there's a lot of dating sims and visual novels that get on Steam, and they never make to Vita. They never make it on any other handhelds. And my favorite way to play those is on, handhelds.
Yeah,
And so
totally.
it's just like a better way to curl up with something you're
Yeah.
and kind of make choices.
And there's just, I mean, like, I play my Vita all the time because I
Yeah.
travel a lot, and
Yeah.
I play, like, smaller indie games. I mean, that's all there is to play on Vita now. But
That's why it exists, and it's
but,
great.
Yeah, but, like, Steam's library of those things just, like, put Vitas to shame.
Oh, it's gross,
Like,
yeah.
I have so many of these games already in my library, and I'm like, man, if I could just access all of these and have them on the road with me and play them whenever I want, like, that'd be incredible.
Well, Marty, the Smach supports more than 1,000 games at launch.
So I think that's basically the same as any other Steam box. Like I think this is literally just a Steam machine,
Yeah.
but portable. Like they've made a minimum spec Steam machine running SteamOS, has like mouse keyboard input kind of on the touch screen and the weird pads.
Yeah.
Are Steam machines being sold as or marketed as 1,000 games supported?
Yes.
That just seems weird. Like what? Why are some games not
It's
supported?
because it's SteamOS supported. Like it's on a dev
Oh,
to make it SteamOS
gotcha.
compatible, and that's to your point. Like I hope that indie devs start implementing SteamOS support as readily as they are Linux and Mac. Like even more aggressively because Mac support is not super common on Steam. Like I look at my Mac games compared to my PC games, and it's
sad.
like none of these are compatible. All the stuff I want to play is PC only. Damn it.
Yep.
Except Dota.
That was me. I was like crying during Steam sales in college because I just had a MacBook Pro, and I was just like,
Nothing
well,
works.
I
I don't
imagine
get
you
anything.
literally crying. No,
Yeah.
it's
Yes.
not there.
Yep.
Some of the supported games are Dota 2, Half-Life 2, and Civ 5. So some good ones, but
Yeah, and I kind of wish there was. I mean, I'm sure there is a list of all the games out there, but it's funny that Dota 2 is one of the games they promote as like you can play Dota 2 on your Vita, your
Hey,
PC
if
Vita.
you have 11 teammates, then it's fine.
I want to do a 5v5 handheld only Dota match.
in spectator mode.
Ooh, yeah, in the
Or
portrait view.
whatever,
It
yeah.
sounds
Yeah.
like just death.
The idea of being able to
Sadness.
play Half-Life 2 on the go is awesome. The idea of being able to jump into a match of Team Fortress 2 while on the commute is awesome. To your point, like dating sims, like short story stuff fits really well. I'd like to take it on a plane. I'd like 4G access for multiplayer stuff. But I love the idea of this like portable Steam Game Boy until I started looking at the specs, and then I got really concerned.
What's up?
So this thing is basically as minimum spec as you can get for a PC. And it's to be expected. Like, I'm not knocking this thing. It is literally a handheld computer that plays Dota 2. I can't complain too hard about that. That's awesome. That said, this thing has 4 gigs of RAM. It has 32 gigabytes internal memory with room for external expansion. And we don't know the battery life. So those are major concerns
That's
of
super
mine.
scary. It's like you can have a few games, maybe 2.
Like
Yeah.
small games, and one of them is
Yeah.
not Dota 2. It's like
Yeah.
Civilization 5 does not fit on this device.
32
Yeah.
is very small.
Yeah.
So at that point, it's like, am I carrying around a passport hard drive in my pocket while I'm playing this game off the hard drive?
Yeah,
That
this
would be
thing
awesome.
no longer a portable.
Right. Like, can this and given the specs of this machine, how quickly is it drawing the data from that external hard drive, and how does that affect performance?
Yeah, you have to have like a really fast spinning hard drive.
Yeah, like
you
and
worry
at
about the RPMs on it.
Exactly.
And,
And
yeah,
at that point, I'm starting to worry about how the hard drive, the GPU, the CPU, how all of these things are negatively affected by its inability to do something. So I think this is a really cool device, and I don't want to sound too down on it because it is awesome, but man, I'm concerned about it, and I would love to get my hands on one. I wrote some notes about like how it compares to a Surface, which is like my go-to. This is an acceptable gaming.
You're already
machine.
on a mobile Dota machine.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't have, it doesn't have 4G, LTE, anything like that. It's also the Surface Pro 2, which sort of is irrelevant at this point, but that's what I use. It starts at $900, 1080p screen, 64 gigabyte internal, also 4 gig RAM. And the Surface 2 is not the ideal gaming machine. Like it runs Dota, it runs Civ, but not well. They look bad. So I worry about having to play games on like minimum spec to just function. The
Especially games that require some sort of timing.
Yeah, like anything that's reflex intensive is potentially bad, especially if performance is taking a hit off, running off a hard drive or whatever. Surface Pro 3 starting at $800, which means the worst model you can get is also 64 gig internal, also 4 gig RAM, but the screen is 1440.
Now we're talking these are 3 times more expensive than the Smach.
So when you look at something that's a little
the Smach.
So when you look at something that's a little more comparable price-wise, Alienware's $450 Steam machine, which is kind of like the go-to model on Steam when you went to pre-order, like that was the one you looked at.
Right.
That thing combines the awesome experience of console gaming with a massive library of 1,000 games, 1080p HD on your TV, GTX GPU, but the concern here, 2 gigabytes GDDR5 RAM. That's not a lot.
So
DDR5 is fast, but 2 gig is not a lot at all.
How does this compare to like the NVIDIA Shield?
That's a good question. I did
Because
not
it's
look up
pretty
those
much the
specs.
same thing.
Vamp, I'm going to look it up.
It's if you don't know what that is, it's pretty much a handheld that streams your Steam games.
Yeah.
So I thought they came out with like a newer model.
They did. It's a
ago.
tablet. Like
Yeah.
it's not the controller thing anymore.
Okay.
Like the Shield tablet is the go-to now.
Yeah, so the original Shield just had like a controller and then a little flip-up screen. Just
Yeah.
connected to the controller.
Yeah, I don't know. This is a really interesting. Like, if anyone could also, like you were mentioning before, battery life. Like, that's super worrisome to me. Like, am I gonna have to be tethered to a wall? Because
Yeah,
if
I
so,
mean,
I'm
if
like,
you're
well, this
using-
is stupid. Why don't I just have a laptop?
Yeah, using 4G and it just like drains your battery.
Yeah,
Well,
totally.
then there goes your game.
What is the battery life? I'm not seeing it on the
We-
stats.
we
here.
don't
Did they not
know.
say it?
No.
Yet to be confirmed. Got it.
So quick hits on the Shield controller. It's 5-inch screen, 720p, so very similar in size. 16 gigs. So at least this thing has double the memory of
Yeah.
the Shield.
Also, this thing, it says it's 300, but it's if you pre-order on November 10th at an early bird price.
Oh, that's interesting. So it's the base minimum model at an early bird price. So what is this going to be? I would imagine this is actually more comparable price-wise to that Alienware.
Yeah, 300 is the
450.
basement. So I totally imagine 400 or 500.
For the Pro, yeah.
Yeah.
So at that point, I mean, it's obviously a really cool convenience. It does have a lot of benefits, but it also does come with these caveats of like not ideal specs.
Yeah.
But it's hard to ask for more, so I'm kind of conflicted about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
Wait,
never an
can
early
you-
adopter for hardware.
Yeah.
Like stuff like that anyway.
Also, when you're paying that much, why not ask for more? I mean, if it's been done before, then do it even better.
Totally,
If you're
yeah.
going to try again,
Yeah.
then...
Yeah, and I don't know. I sort of like. There are so many games I want to play right now. So many games that I sort of like when I'm in a situation and that number shrinks. My options shrink.
Yeah.
So I'm traveling and all I have is my phone and my Vita, and I can play what's on there as opposed to, man, if I always have that terrifying Steam library staring back at me, like everywhere I go, like I'm gonna spend like an hour every day. I'm gonna spend my entire commute just looking through. Yeah.
Yeah, like that's a device I think, I mean, and maybe the memory restraint is actually a benefit in
Yeah.
that regard. It's like, well, I can play the Banner Saga.
Yeah.
Cool, I guess I'll do that.
Yeah.
If this was somehow like great and worked and you could play Fallout 4
Man.
anywhere,
Yeah.
that's
See, that'll be the real test. Is
That'd
like,
be awesome.
what is a massive game like that? Massive in terms of like install size, but also in terms of ambition. Like,
Yeah. Or
how
about
does-
Witcher or like.
Yeah, like how does something that requires
Open world, what's on the
pretty
screen?
serious
Yeah.
performance from a good rig? How does that fare? Like, what is that experience like as a portable game?
the nice thing.
That's really
I guess
promising.
nice thing is that 720p is very low for a computer.
Yeah.
So like it's not, monitors are like 1080 or 1200 or 1600 usually.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's,
a
good
lot
point.
of performance.
1080p
saved.
on a 5-inch screen, you're just not going to get the benefit
yeah.
from that. So it's kind of worth that sacrifice for the enhanced
Totally.
performance.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't think about that. I like that a lot. $300 is a lot. Let's see if IGM will expense one for us so we can check it out as opposed to all
So-
of us investing $300 minimum in the worst version of this thing.